In this interview from Scale Model World at Telford, I'm at the Airfix stand. Later, I'll be chatting with designer Matt Whiting about the new Messerschmitt ME410 kit. But first, head of brand Dale Luckhurst. At the stand here, of course, a man with all the secrets, so he doesn't let on anything till the last possible minute, of course, is Dale Luckhurst. Dale, head of brand, how you
Hey
doing, my
Gary,
big man?
I'm really good. Yeah.
So, ME410.
Yep.
The day I'm standing next to one, having just posted a video of the Italeri one for next week, it was a bit of a shock.
Yep.
It was, if someone says to me, right, Airfix are going to release a 1/72 twin engine thing, what's it going to be? That would be just about the last thing, maybe something Japanese underneath it, but other than that, where did the decision come from suddenly? An ME410 of all things.
I mean, you'll be familiar with the Italeri kits you just mentioned, and whenever we're choosing kits, we always look at what competitors' options are out there and how good they are, and whether we can do it better, or if there's something else that we should be doing instead. Loads of factors, and we just felt that that was a subject matter that could be massively improved, and we could do it much better.
Right.
So that was just slotted into our schedule of new tools.
But it is a slightly, I don't know how many of them they built, but it's probably a few hundred rather than
I
10,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
I
a couple
believe.
thousand or something.
Yeah, I think so. And I believe they're quite a late war
Yes,
aircraft that were never really fully utilised in what they were
Right.
originally meant to go off and do. But
So I think a lot of people won't ever have heard of it, frankly, unless they're model makers or whatever. But maybe it's you're introducing them to something that, what on earth is that? Oh, that's interesting. It's good.
yeah, I actually likened it to TSR2, and a lot of people are gonna shout at me for that. But
Including me.
yeah, I just think that if you've ever been to the RAF Cosford Midlands Museum, you'll be very aware of what TSR2 is,
Yes.
and you'll be very aware of what the ME410 is.
Right.
Of course, the only surviving ME410 in the world is at Cosford.
Yeah.
So you're never going to go into another air museum in the UK and be like, oh, what's that? I'm going to learn more about it, because you're just never going to see it. And the TSR2 is very similar to that. So, okay, there's one at Duxford, but unless you go to that museum and look, you're never going to look it up. So
You're not hinting that there might be a vintage classics or a new tool of the TSR2, are you? Because
no.
that would be. There'd be a lot of very happy people if
I'm
you
sure.
get a TSR2.
I'm sure you're not the first person to say TSR2 to me today. So that's always a subject matter, 72nd and 48th, that we look at every year. And I've said to you before, and I've said to many people, that when we come to deciding on product range, it's always what we have to take out, not what to put in. The list is huge. So yeah.
But that list, of course, this year is a lot more complicated by the fact that back in January, as usual, we had your good self introducing the range for the year. And we're kind of used to that. That's the thing we all look forward to.
Yep.
Sometimes to say, wow, they're finally doing that. Sometimes then to moan, of course, which again you'll be quite used to, no doubt. But then this year, you've done all of that, and to be fair, you look at the range, and that's in January, you think that's actually not bad. The Gannet coming out, and lots of good second and third year releases, some interesting vintage classics.
Yep.
Then you've thrown into that a 148 Seeking. Now this Messerschmitt. You've thrown in more vintage classic releases.
Five kits in total. So Seafire, Sea King, SRM1, 410, and what's the fifth? I can't remember what the fifth one is now. But yeah, there was five in total. So
that's a lot going through the year. But is that a conscious decision that you've looked at previous years, right? Okay, we announced all in January, and then the buzz kind of goes, and you get little spikes when things are released, and then they finally come through. Yeah. But you've known about these kits for some time.
Yeah. So the year that we announced and released the RAF 48 scale, the Royal Navy 48 scale Buccaneer, I actually wanted to keep that back from the January announcement, and then announce it as soon as it arrived or a month beforehand or whatever. So, we decided not to do that. So I always had that idea in my head that we would have a January announcement, we'd have a bit of a backup plan to say, yes, this year looks a bit light, but there's a lot of focus on starter sets, which of course there has been. Next year there will be less starter sets, so potentially more of classic kits. There's very few people ever said to us in January, "Oh, it looks a bit light on the new tooling front." So of course those 5 kits this year, secret releases, aren't all brand new tools. There's only the 2 of them. So the Sea King and the 410. That Sea King is 24 scale part count, as you will know. So no one's sort of missed the gap in product announcements. And it's gone down really well. So the other factor, of course, is announcing something in January and not planning to release it until October or November that year. We can't bring it in any soon. It's not just because we don't want to. It's just we are working at the max of that schedule. And then people complaining that it's late. Or just losing the buzz. So we just wanted to keep a few things back and just create a massive hype around the product announcement, and then having stock either coming in a month later or bang on. So the 410 for today, this weekend, some retailers knew about it at the beginning of the week, and we were able to get stock to them for the show. Essentially give them an exclusive for the show, announce it 10 o'clock on a Friday before they start unpacking their vans, and then we go forward. So that was just another different thing to do with the secret release. Every secret release this year we've done slightly different, so we've included more and more people. So
would it be fair to say that you've got to plan January, and in a way it's like, well, if we can get these made by July, then we'll have it in July. If we can't get them made until January, we'll release it next year. But you've already, you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
No, so
you'd want to do it the other way round.
Yeah, so there's so many factors at play. We've spoken about that before, and if it's new tool, then we know when the design is due to finish, or the engineering of that tooling is like to finish, and when we can then ship that to India for production. And at that point, it's sort of production and fairly straightforward. If you can get it on a container and over, but that's less of an issue these days. So that's pretty good. Reissues in vintage classic kits. Where's the tool? What state's the tool in? Does it need any extra work?
SRN4. Sorry, bad throat.
So and then box art and things. So it's pulling all that together. And of course, you can't just say we'll pull all the box art together in 1 week. It's essentially one product a week that goes through the dev team. Box art, decal artwork, all that sort of stuff. So we try to even out the big kits of the year as well. Just financially, that makes more sense from a stock holding, but also just bigger kit means a lot more engineering to get through. So
And you repeated last year saying having the club kit on show.
Yes.
Chatting about the Spitfire set.
Yeah. So next year's club kit is it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day next year, of course. So really wanted something that would fit that. Looking at a couple of options that were slightly different, that had invasion markings on, rather than it being specifically D-Day. But opted to go for the PR19 and the Typhoon, is it? I can't remember if it's a Typhoon or the Tempest. I can't remember.
I haven't had a look at it yet.
I've been so
day one.
I'm sorry, I've been so focused on 410 the last 2 days.
We'll forgive you.
But they're really cool. Really cool decal schemes. We've never done them before. Really cool invasion markings. Pair those two up. So you get 2 in the box, not just one like the Meteor this year. Meteor we sold out way quicker than we thought we would, which has presented an issue for anyone trying to get it or signing up to the club. There are options of doing that without getting a kit. It's cheaper. So that kit will be available in January for people renewing. The bulk of people will renew in Jan. And then, we'll just move forward with the club
I'll
kit.
be getting mine. My renewal comes in January. I make sure my renewal is about the 5th of January, so I'm absolutely sure I'm not missing out on these.
No.
And it's lovely showing them because, of course, it's like this is what you're going to get rather than a kit. This is what you're as part of the offer.
Yeah.
Dale, as always, it's actually a real pleasure chatting with you, mate.
Cheers, Gary.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your openness and for all your team here at Airfix at the show at the weekend. I've been watching how they interact with the public. I know they ultimately they pay our guys watching this pay my wage. Guys buying this stuff pay your.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
I love the way that you're very open, very interacting with them, and
Cheers,
you all
Gary.
stand on this side of the stand, for example. It's brilliant.
That is a massive conscious effort, actually. That there's no one stood behind the stand. We're all one big community, and as cheesy as that all sounds, it's very true. We're very open, and so one big community. If you guys didn't buy our product, we wouldn't be here today. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, mate.
Cheers, Gary. Cheers.
So here we are, just by the Airfix stand, and of course the big news of the show was the ME410 coming out from Airfix that none of us knew about. I only found out about it when I was standing next to the thing at Cosford. Here is Matt, who designed it, who has had to say a few words for us. This is fantastic. Thank you, Matt.
No, thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the kit.
Thank you.
The builds look amazing, frankly. We're used to a lot of 148 stuff coming out of Airfix. It looks all very precise. This looks really precise at 1/72 as well.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
What sort of, were there any particular challenges you had with making the kit? Or?
I mean, the research was a big challenge. Obviously, we were able to get access to the aircraft at Cosford.
Yeah.
But that's been chopped around over the years. It's got bits missing from it. There's some bits on it that have been modified over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We really struggled with original drawings.
Oh, well, that's because a lot of them got lost in the war. Yeah.
But we did find some really interesting manuals, lots and lots of period photography. So yeah, it's an absolutely fascinating subject.
Now, I always ask designers this, and you're a very modest lot, I have to say, generally speaking. Is there anything, when you look at this kit, you look at it in the box or you look at a built one, and you look at the real thing it costs maybe, and you think, do you know what, we nailed that. It was a bit of a challenge, but do you know what? Is there anything in this kit where you think, secretly, oh, do you know what? Yeah, we nailed that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a distinctive aircraft. It's got a really thin sort of tadpole fuselage and big powerful engines either side. So yeah, just sort of being able to capture the real sort of look and character of the thing. Obviously, a lot of that is down to we was able to laser scan it, so we're using sort of cutting edge technology. But then a lot of the finer details, such as like the gun barrels, like things like the radios in the cockpit, they've all come out really nice and sharp. So really pleased with it. The panel lines are another step up in quality. So yeah.
Great. Obviously, you're not going to tell me anything else you're working on at the moment, because you never do. Which is
I'm working way in the future now, so I have to be very careful about what I can and can't talk about.
But having a look at this, one thing that is immediately obvious, having built the Italeri one as well, which is not a pattern. By the way, thank you Airfix for releasing this kit the week that my kit of the week is the Italieri one, but we'll let that pass. There'll be a comparison video, and I'm pretty sure yours is going to come out a lot better. The Italeri one comes with bombs for the bomb bay, so would it be fair to suggest that this kit will have a second or third release, bearing in mind this one's got guns and a very big gun, rather than any bombs?
Yeah, we had to get the one with the big cannon in first. So yeah, I'm sure if you have a closer look at the way the frames are broken down, then you can draw your own conclusions.
So that's just what I like about them. They're honest. They're honest and very open about things in a roundabout way, which is fantastic. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I literally cannot wait to start building one. I'm actually shooting a box opening of it back in the hotel room when I go back. I'm that desperate to show this thing. It looks incredible. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for your time.
No, it's been great. Cheers, Gary.
Look for the next project.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It does seem like Airfix are intent now on this dual release policy of announcing something in January. The schedule for the year for January, so new releases, re-release kits, the sort of second, third year release of existing kits, and of course vintage classics for the year. But then dropping in other things along the way. I mean, they've done 5 or 6 different kits, as Dale was saying. in the meantime that no one knew about in January. So that's cool. What is a risk is that some of the things you promise in January don't actually make it to market that year because of these other things dropping in. Now, I'm assuming they plan for these extras. They planned for the Seeking 148 Seeking release. They planned for the Messerschmitt 410 release. But it's the end of the year pretty much, and there's still no Rotodyne, there's still no Bloodhound, there's only a couple of weeks to go. Are they really pushing those into the Christmas and New Year period? Or is it that they haven't been able to catch up with the production? Has the container ship carrying them maybe turned right into Rotterdam instead of left into Felixstowe at the wrong moment? We won't know. It would be nice if they could share that sort of information, perhaps, to explain why these things are late. But maybe onshoring some of the production might relieve that reliance on long-distance container traffic. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the show, and I hope you have, do please remember, give it the old imperial thumbs up on the like button below, because every like counts. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. It doesn't cost you anything, but you get notified of all my future content as it is released. Thank you so very much for watching today. Hope to see you again very soon. Take good care now, and goodbye.